It was Easter Sunday, 2019. I was 21 at the time, home from college for the weekend, and my family had decided to do something different that year. Instead of the usual dinner, my aunt suggested we do an Easter egg hunt at a park near her place in rural Pennsylvania. Kind of corny, but it was mostly for the little kids in the family, and we all went along with it. The park wasn't anything special, just a wide clearing surrounded by trees, a playground, and some picnic tables. But it was quiet, scenic, and honestly a nice place to kill a few hours. We got there around noon. My mom and aunt started setting up the food while my uncle and I walked around hiding the eggs. While we were doing that, I noticed this guy, way out in the tree line. At first I thought he was just another parent from some other gathering, but he was wearing a full-body Easter bunny costume. Big white suit, big plastic head, and he was just standing there. No kids with him, not moving, just watching. I nudged my uncle and pointed him out. He squinted, shrugged, and said something like, probably one of those paid party guys or whatever. We didn't think much of it at the time. But even when we finished hiding the eggs and started letting the kids loose, that bunny was still standing there, totally still. Eventually, he walked off into the woods, not toward the road or a parking lot, just into the trees. I kept an eye out, just in case, but the day went on without anything weird. We ate, cleaned up, and headed home. That night, I was lying in bed, scrolling through pictures from the day, when I noticed something. In one of the shots of my cousins hunting for eggs, way in the background, there he was. The bunny, still in the trees, still watching, and I swear to God he was closer than I remembered. That night, around 2 a.m., I was in the kitchen getting water when I saw something through the front window. A flash of white near our driveway. I froze and turned off the light. I stood there in the dark for maybe a full minute, staring out the window. I thought maybe it was a car's headlights hitting a bush or something. But then I saw it again. Movement. Someone walking across our lawn. Not running, just walking. And I could see the ears. I didn't wake anyone up. I didn't call the cops. I just stood there, heart pounding, and waited until I couldn't see him anymore. I barely slept. The next morning, I convinced myself I imagined it. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe someone saw the guy at the park and was copying him. I left later that day to drive back to campus. About a week later, my mom called me. She sounded off, shaky. She asked if I remembered the Easter bunny guy from the park. I said yes. She told me she saw something on the local news. A man in a bunny costume had been arrested after breaking into a house in a neighboring town. He hadn't stolen anything. He didn't even try to hurt anyone. But when the family came home early from vacation, they found him standing in their daughter's room. He had taken all her Easter candy and arranged it around the bed in a perfect circle, just standing there, not moving, just watching. Police found multiple costumes in his car. They said he had maps of several local parks, ours included. He had marked spots on them, and one of the markings, right where my little cousin found the golden egg. This happened in 2021, over Easter weekend. My friend Josh had just bought a piece of land up in the Catskills, completely off the grid. No electricity, no cell signal, no nearby houses, just woods. He invited a few of us up for a guy's weekend. Beer, bonfire, camping, nothing fancy. There were 5 of us total. We drove up Friday night and set up near this old rusted trailer that came with the property. It looked like it had been abandoned for decades. Windows busted, door lying on the ground, moss climbing up the side. Creepy, but harmless. The first night was uneventful, just drinks and dumb stories around the fire. Saturday night was different. Around midnight, we heard something. Heavy footsteps coming from near the trailer. Not an animal. Too slow. Too heavy. We went quiet. Josh grabbed his flashlight, aimed it toward the sound. Nobody was there, but the door, the one that had been lying flat earlier, was now propped back in the doorway. None of us moved it. We tried to laugh it off, said maybe the wind caught it, but the fire died down pretty quick after that, and we all headed to our tents. Around 3 a.m. I woke up to whispering, very soft, right outside my tent. At first I thought one of the guys was messing with me. I unzipped the flap and looked out. There was nothing, just trees and silence. The next morning, I asked if anyone else heard it. One of the guys, Marcus, looked pale. He said he woke up and saw someone walking between the tents, wearing a bunny mask. Plain white, rubber, just watching. Nobody else saw anything, but we packed up not long after that. A few weeks later, Josh went back up there alone. He wanted to start clearing some of the brush. That night, he sent a group text, a photo. It was the inside of the trailer. In the corner was a small wicker Easter basket, filled with real eggs, each one cracked open, drained, but carefully placed back together. Inside the shells were tiny pieces of paper. Each one had a name on it. Mine was one of them. To this day, we don't know who did it. We don't know how they got our names, or if they were watching us the whole time. All I know is, I've never gone camping over Easter again. This happened to me back in 2017 when I was working night security at a strip mall in Virginia. I was 25, broke, and desperate for work, so when they offered me time and a half for covering Easter weekend, I took it. The mall was nothing fancy, just a few stores, a small local bank, and a grocery store that closed around 11 p.m. My shift ran from 10 at night to 6 in the morning. Just me, a flashlight, and a radio. That Sunday night, the entire lot was dead. Grocery store closed early for the holiday. Not a single car in the parking lot except mine. It was around 1:30 in the morning when I noticed something on the security feed. The cameras were grainy, black and white, 4 angles on a split screen. I was just zoning out when I saw movement on camera 3. The walkway outside the party supplies store. Someone was walking by. They were in costume. It looked like a rabbit. Big white mascot head. Sagging bodysuit. No shoes. Just slowly walking past the storefronts, like they were browsing windows that had nothing in them. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped outside, thinking it had to be some drunk teenager pulling a prank. But the lot was completely empty. No one around. When I circled back to the office and rewound the feed, the figure was gone. Just walked off camera and vanished. Weird, but not the weirdest thing I'd seen on night shifts. But then, around 3 a.m., I went to do my hourly walkthrough. That's when I found something that made my stomach turn. Near the back loading docks, just outside the locked staff entrance to the grocery store, there was a small pink Easter basket. Inside were 3 things: a single brown egg, a folded Polaroid photo, and a used Band-Aid. I didn't touch it. I didn't even take a closer look. I backed away, went straight inside, and called it in to my supervisor. He told me to log it and finish my shift. Typical. But the part that messed me up the most, that Polaroid. I finally looked at it around 4 a.m. when I was back in the office. It was a blurry photo of me, standing next to my car, probably taken right before I started my shift. I filed a report. They checked the security footage the next day, but from 12:55 to 1:40 a.m., all 4 cameras glitched out. Black screen, no record of anything. A week later, I quit. They offered me a bonus to stay. I didn't take it. To this day, I have no idea who was in the suit. No one ever claimed the basket. No one ever came forward.